Concacaf Champions League is on the horizon. First kick inches closer and closer, and a U.S. national team stalwart may be on his way back to MLS. Next on The Daily. Welcome to The Daily. It's Tuesday, March 6th, and I am Andrew Wiebe. Standing next to me, Simon Borg. And Simon, for the last few months, everything has gone toward preparation for First Kick. All 19 teams in their preseason preparation, getting ready for this next weekend. But before that, tomorrow, on Wednesday, Concacaf Champions League Quarterfinals kicks off. 3 MLS teams in 2 games. The first game there, LA and Toronto. In Toronto at the Rogers Center. 40,000 plus tickets sold, 8 p.m. Eastern. What do you think?
That's the storyline right there, Andrew. Every single seat sold at the Rogers Center, everyone wanting to cram the house to see Toronto FC and how they do against the MLS Cup champion LA Galaxy, who for the most part, they haven't been hyping up their participation in this tournament or putting any added pressure on themselves. But Bruce Arena did single out Luis Quicksilva, the former LA Galaxy fan and rookie for Toronto FC, who's already done damage this preseason. He's going to keep an eye on him. He could be a player to watch.
Yeah, and Bruce Arena might not be putting a ton of emphasis on it. I'm sure there is, but Siggy Schmidt has been public in his announcements that they are very, very interested in progressing and they want to win this thing. They'll have to start out on a difficult match. Santos Laguna, one of the best teams in CONCACAF.
They're an explosive team out of Mexico, one of the better team in the Mexican League the last few seasons. They're an explosive offensive team, and partly because of Herculez Gomez this year, the American World Cup forward, expected to start against the Seattle Sounders against the coach that he played for in Siggy Schmidt. That is the storyline of this match.
And you can catch all the coverage about those matches on MLSsoccer.com. Once again, 8 p.m. LA and TFC on Fox Soccer, and then following that match at 10 p.m. Seattle and Santos Laguna. Of course, after CONCACAF Champions League play comes the MLS regular season kickoff. First kick starting on Saturday and running through Monday. The first game there, Montreal at Vancouver, the first game in the existence in MLS for the Impact. Simon, how's their first preseason gone? Are they ready for this step?
I had the chance, Andrew, to be with them in Orlando, and I saw the progression of this team. They haven't been together for too long, but with every single day of practice that they can spend together, you can see the movements a little more coordinated on the field. And I think there's some interesting players. Felipe Martins, a midfielder for them. You haven't heard much talk about him, but he is an exciting player on the field. If he can get involved in their attack. Montreal, I don't think they're going to finish last this year, Andrew.
And you can check out the last season preview of the Montreal Impact today on the site. You can also check out previews for all 18 other teams, a great resource for you as we enter the 2012 season. Another resource, the guys in LA, the season preview video series built by Home Depot, kicked off yesterday. Greg, Mark Rogandino, and Jason Seguini, our own Jason Seguini, talked about the new additions to MLS and what the most important ones will be. For me, I think Barry Robson. It may not be the one that starts now, but when he enters that Whitecaps lineup late in the season, that could change the complexion in the West. Who do you see, Simon? Who's the one that's going to change things?
Andrew, I'll go with a guy who's going to probably start this weekend, and that's Milovan Mirosevic of the Columbus Crew. They're saying he has the potential to be the next Guillermo Barros Schelotto, and that the team is going to change face because of him.
One thing Mirosevic did say in Charleston is that he may not be the same type of player as Guillermo Barros Schelotto. He did say that that was one of his idols, so hopefully he can live up to that hype. The second edition of the season preview series built by Home Depot is today, and that's going to be roster rebuilding. You can check that out on MLSsoccer.com. Another interesting piece of news coming out of Europe today relating back to MLS. We've heard a lot about the situation at Rangers and what it may mean for the American players there. But we're getting rumors that one of those players may have an option to come back to MLS, Simon.
We're talking about American captain Carlos Bocanegra. He's rumored to be among several players who just might be outright cut by Rangers, which would really be a disrespect to the captain of the U.S. national team. But there's the Vancouver Whitecaps, now positioned #1 in the allocation rankings. So if Carlos Bocanegra were to return to MLS, they would have first dibs, and they did try to get him before he went to Rangers. That was confirmed by the Whitecaps assistant coach.
And that would certainly change the complexion of the Western Conference with a player like Carlos Bocanegra coming in. Today on MLSsoccer.com, you can see the all-new power rankings. Where do all 19 teams stack up ahead of First Kick and these CONCACAF Championship matches? Simon, who's the team that's made the biggest jump from the beginning of preseason to now?
Well, I think you can make an argument about the San Jose Earthquakes, Andrew. I think it's the Vancouver Whitecaps, even without Carlos Bocanegra. For me, they are a top 5 team entering the 2012 season.
Yeah, another thing you can check out on MLSsoccer.com. Yesterday we had an expert panel on Extra Time Radio, guys discussing everything heading up to first kick. You can catch that on Buzzsprout and iTunes. That's all we have here on The Daily. For Andrew Eby and Simon Borg, we'll see you tomorrow.